evacuation orders. Knowledge is power during a hurricane. We are in the hurricane season. Stay informed by tuning in to Q95 FM radio for updates on the storm's path and any evacuation orders. Knowledge is power during a hurricane.
Coming up weekly on radio, don't miss your daily dose of inspiration, wisdom, and transformation with Rhapsody of Realities by Pastor Chris. Join listeners around the world Monday to Friday at 7:30 a.m. as we bring you powerful devotional readings that will uplift your spirit, strengthen your faith, and position you for victorious living. Powerful teachings inspiring prayer's daily wisdom for life. A message of hope for every generation. Tune in from June 1st and experience the transforming power of God's Word through Rhapsody of Realities. Stay connected, stay inspired, stay victorious. Rhapsody of Realities, bringing God's Word to your world every single day.
Orange and lemon lime. Yeah. We love the vibe. Refreshing every day. All night. Forget your worries. Go chill. Joy flavor.
Distributed by Fine Foods Inc., the biggest distributor for the biggest brands.
Time to chill.
Hailing from the southern football mecca of Newtown and possesses one of the most colorful sports resume in Dominica, the recipient of the prestigious Order of Merit from the Roosevelt Douglas Foundation in the US of A. Creole Helvet features meritorious awardee Joe for Faustine this Friday, July 24th, 10:30 a.m. on Q95 FM, the big station, the former national football and cricketer and an exceptional football and cricket coach.
I coach national football teams at under 15, under 17, and under 20 levels, and also the national football team. Former Dominica and Windward Islands cricket trainer at youth and senior levels.
His persistent demand for discipline, training, decorum, and order remained the hallmark of his training. Geoff Faustine. This Friday, host Ambassador Prince Radixson will be live on Q95 social media pages. Geoff Faustine, sports administrator, entrepreneur, and a mentor, former sports officer at the sports division with a long, outstanding, distinguished career in the public service. Founder of the Newtown Juvenile Academy over 3 decades ago. Geoff Faustine, this Friday, July 24th, 10:30 a.m. on Creole Helmet on the big station Q95.
It was a Bryson company. Yeah, the Bryson company. The only company I know with Bryce was cooking water and back and neck. Now with the last one is short. I said Bryce. In the old plus nefla where you have a roofing material and seamless guttering. Yes, 24 gauge governors, all colors. Ever open Nipu gas peel agent. They program the computer to give you the exact size you want. And the seamless guttering aluminum that can better withstand the elements you have in an easy way. So no leaking after a while. And so much more. Bryson company, the app by 8 bank close to the old Mill at Enfield. Telephone 617-2468.
Happy anniversary to Digicel. 20 years. Celebrate, connect, and win 20 years with Digicel. Celebrating relentless connectivity across Dominica, and we're giving back to you with more prizes and surprises.
Digital in 20. If you with Digicel, then you have plenty. 20 years we rolling with Digicel. If you're not with us, then hear me well. I have my TV, still have my cell. I have my internet, all from Digicel. 20 years of real connection. So pay attention.
Win with the ultimate VIP experiences. Brunch voucher 6 months. Bill free. Win more. Simple. Activate. Switch. Stay connected. Win. Visit your nearest Digicel store or speak to an agent today.
2020, digital in 20. If you with Digicel, then you are plenty. I think with Digi you can win. Celebrate, connect, and win.
Ooh, oh, oh, oh. KFC. Ooh, oh, KFC. Looking for some place to go. Emails for so. KFC. Grab your family and your friends. Join in the experience. KFC. It's the place to be. Made for you and me. KFC. KFC. It's finger licking good.
Attention, residents of Upper Canefield. This time is your turn. The United Progressive Party warmly invites you to a special community meeting on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 at Upper Canefield in the vicinity of the basketball court near Mr. Recker's place. Come and hear from Loftus Lofty Durand, the UPP's candidate for the Maho constituency, and Joshua Francis, leader of the UPP party, as they share their vision and listen to your concerns and ideas. We look forward to seeing you there on Thursday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. at Upper Canefield in the vicinity of the basketball court near Mr. Recker's place. United Progressive Party, together for progress.
If you know quality, then you must know the manufacturers of Dominica's finest rums, Belfast Estate Limited. Over 80 years leading the industry with exceptional standards and formidable customer service. We present the manufacturers of BB Rum, Soca Rum, Red Cap Rum, Cask Rum, and the signature Belfast Estate Rum Punch. With island-wide distribution daily, Belfast Estate Limited has cemented its mark as the distributor of choice for products like Eldorado range of rums and creams, Kubali Bear, Corona Bear, Guinness, Root Boy drink, and of course, Sunblast juices, Toppers snacks, Vitamalt, and Pine Hill juices. Call the office at 440-7032 or visit the distribution outlet at Jimmy Dominica. Follow on Facebook or Instagram at Belfast Estate. Belfast Estate Limited, your leading manufacturer and distributor of rums in Dominica.
All right, Dominica, we're here. Good afternoon to you and welcome to the Talk on the Block. If it's happening on the block, I want to play this afternoon an edited version of a meeting held by the United Workers' Party in Marigot. That everyone in the North seems to be talking about, and demonstrated clearly that there's some efforts within the ranks of the United Workers' Party to work together. I saw Todd launching some candidates today. We'll talk to you about that sometime. I just spoke to Mr. Bruno a minute ago. So some things are happening on the ground. The political parties are getting active. But I was told that Todd launched about 4 candidates today. And I have every intention to launch more. Let's go back to an edited version of a meeting held there in Marigot on the weekend. We saw the likes of Mr. Ronald Charles, the president of the United Workers' Party, the chairperson of the St. Joseph constituency, the candidate for the Roseau constituency. We also hear from Mr. Lennox Linton, who spoke that night. You haven't heard his voice for a while, right? Some of that will be featured in this presentation. And the father of Mr. Delbert Paris. Following a big luncheon in Marigot on the weekend. Let's allow you to hear in one insert you'll hear, nobody should say at this time that the United Workers' Party is divided. A big show of force on the weekend there in Marigot. Let's listen for a few minutes.
Reception that I got this evening. Victory is a must. All right, the thing sounded nice. The people are wonderful. And it's good to be here this evening. Let me say a warm good evening to the next parliamentary representative for the Marigot constituency, Mr. Delbert Paris. They're not going to touch that. So we're not going to worry about that part of it. And also I want to acknowledge Mr. Lennox Linton in our mix. And of course, the next Prime Minister of Dominica, Dr. Thompson Fontaine. Let us not forget the president of the party is here, is walking around and socializing. But let me say this to you. I heard Father making some important points. And I think it is important that we as a people understand how important it is to vote and to register and to reconfirm and to make it big. Because in Marigot, we are going to win by 1,000 votes. And to do that, you have to confirm and you have to do what you have to do. Yes, right. This is the Workers' Party. What is so? Like to go. Jump, jump, jump. Important, Workers' Party.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go straight to the point. Marigot people know how to choose extraordinary leaders every single time. The Honorable Edison James, the Honorable Lennox Linton, and now the Honorable Delbert Paris. Brilliant, principled, patriotic, courageous, committed to country, committed to people, ready to serve. Let me say it again, ready to serve. That is the Marigot tradition. It is both my honor and my privilege to stand on this platform tonight with Delbert Paris. And let me address something once and for all. I don't want to hear anybody saying again that the United Workers' Party is divided. Hello. Let me testify before all the naysayers, where you see I am there on the inside, that the United Workers' Party is united. We are strong and we are focused. And under the leadership of Dr. Thompson Fontaine, we are ready. We are ready to become the next government of the Commonwealth of Dominica. I am counting on you, the people of Marigot, to once again place your unwavering confidence in your candidate. Stand with Delbert, campaign with Delbert, vote for Delbert, and vote like you never voted before to deliver a resounding victory to Delbert Paris and the United Workers' Party. Because just like the people of Roseau Central, the people of Marigot know a leader when they see one. They know competence. They know ability. So this time around, I'm going to say it like you, Alawi is sitting down in cabinet this time. Labour Party has had 26 long years to put people first. 26 long years to create opportunity. 26 years to improve people's lives. They have failed. We don't want to hear their empty promises again. We don't want to hear their excuses. We're not interested. After 26 years, it's report card time. Pass or fail. And as far as I'm concerned, they fail. So yesterday, I did a meet and greet in the Roseau Market. And something was brought to my attention again, and it's weighing on me. Raw sewage being discharged into the Roseau River. Raw sewage every single day, collected from Roseau South communities and collected from Roseau Central, dumped, untreated into the river, a river that flows through our capital city. And this has been happening since Hurricane Maria. This is unbelievable. It is unacceptable. It is despicable. The first duty of any parliamentary representative is to protect the health and safety of the people. It is also our responsibility to safeguard the environment. To safeguard the environment. On both counts, the Labour Party has failed. Roseau Central, talk your talk. Roseau North, go and ask Danny where Goodwill Waste and the hospital waste is going and where people bathe in every day, especially on Sunday. Yes, I just drove through Concord and I'm equally concerned for the people of that community and our brothers and sisters in the Kalinago territory. The Labour Party is insisting on tearing down yet another mountain at Deboash to quarry material for the airport project. That is just not smart when there are viable options. So just as I'm deeply concerned about the Roseau River, I am equally concerned about the potential contamination of the Pegua River and the serious threat it could pose to the health, the safety, the livelihoods, and the environment of the surrounding communities. Development should never come at the expense of the people. We can build our country while protecting our rivers, our environment, and the health of every Dominican. That is not too much to ask. It is the responsibility of government, and it is the standard our people deserve. The United Workers' Party has a different approach to development. We put people first. We are about sustainable development. We believe development must improve people's lives, create opportunity, and still preserve the natural environment that God has blessed us with in Dominica. That is our approach, and that is why I am here tonight to proudly endorse the candidacy of the Honorable Delbert Paris. And what I want to say, and I want to say this directly to the people of Marigot. The people of Dominica are depending on you. Marigot has always led the way. Once again, we are counting on your political savvy to elect Delbert Paris to help secure victory for the United Workers' Party. Not just here in Marigot, but throughout the length and breadth of Dominica. So I have 3 simple requests tonight. Register if you have never voted before. Confirm your name on the voters list if this is not your first time voting. And on election day, the most important one, on election day, come out and vote. Bring your family, bring your friends, encourage your neighbors. Every single vote matters this time around. The time has come to put people first in Dominica. The time has come to restore hope. The time has come to rebuild confidence and trust in governance. The time has come to create opportunity for our people. The time has come to take back our country. Labor's time is over. Now is the people's time. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. May God bless Marigot, and may God continue to bless Dominica.
I cannot tell the people of Marigot nothing, because the Marigot people have been supporting the United Workers' Party for decades. So there is nothing I can tell the Marigot people to convince them. But I want to let you to understand, Marigot is one of the most powerful constituency in Dominica that have been supporting the United Workers' Party. And I will tell you why. Marigot had one of the best prime minister that ever passed in Dominica, Mr. Ellis James. Marigot had one of the most powerful, not only in Dominica, but in the region. Marigot had the opposition leader, Mr. Lennox Linton. Marigot have one of the best senators right now in Parliament, Mr. Delbert Paris. So what can I tell the people of Marigot to support the United Workers' Party again?
Mr. Sanford, make your way to the stage.
Yes, this is the Workers' Party. Let's hear you say, workers, we are in the heart of UWP, and we have to take that blue wave from Marigot all the way to Portsmouth, to La Plaine, to Grand Fond, to the whole West Coast, and the blue wave is going to take over, ladies and gentlemen. Because after 26 years, the report card of the government is not looking good this year, and we have to take them out. Do you agree? Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be in Marigot. So I say a special good night tonight to Mr. Edison James, who have led the party in government and who is still solid in Marigot with the United Workers' Party. But ladies and gentlemen, after that, we had the strong leadership of Mr. Lennox Linton. And tonight, I'm here in support of this young stallion, this young gentleman, Mr. Delbert Paris. I don't think there's much to be said. He has proven himself in his professional undertaking as an engineer. He has proven himself as a family man who has embraced the tradition of Mr. Paris, the big man himself, Stuco, in the construction field. And he has also proven himself in the parliament as an articulate speaker in the House, right? So there's nothing much to say that you don't already know about Mr. Delbert Paris. So I say a special good night tonight to Mr. Edison James, who have led the party in government and who is still solid in Marigot with the United Workers' Party. But ladies and gentlemen, after that, we had the strong leadership of Mr. Lennox Linton. And tonight, I'm here in support of this young stallion, this young gentleman, Mr. Delbert Paris. I don't think there's much to be said. He has proven himself in his professional undertaking as an engineer. He has proven himself as a family man who has embraced the tradition of Mr. Paris, the big man himself, Stuco, in the construction field. And he has also proven himself in the parliament as an articulate speaker in the House, right? So there's nothing much to say that you don't already know about Mr. Delbert Paris. But from my end, the support is a little deeper because Mr. Paris have roots in the Kalinago territory. That is where the Paris surname came from. So we too, we have a special connection as Kalinago people. And I'm very proud to stand here tonight.
So let's welcome to the stage the Honorable Lennox Linton.
Yes, I. This is the Workers' Party. What is the song? Like the song. Jump, jump, hit the button, Workers' Party. Jump.
All right, God, good night. We are here because of a very important coming together, an agreement that took place within the last month or so when the National Executive of the United Workers' Party accepted the recommendation of the Marigot Constituency Association to have Honorable Senator Delbert Paris as the candidate for the party in the next election. That was a very important agreement that we reached. And we welcome it. And in the Marigot Constituency Association, we want to take the opportunity tonight with the members of the National Executive gathered here to say thank you. Thank you very much. And to underline the significance of that agreement. The Marigot Constituency Association of the United Workers' Party is the most successful constituency association of the party. In this month, we celebrated 38 years as a political party, this month of July. It was quiet. Many people didn't hear about it, but we celebrated 38 years. And having come into existence in 1988, we have something in the United Workers' Party that we share with the senator who we are with tonight. We're about the same age with him. We're about the same age. United Workers' Party is about the same age with Delbert Paris. He was born a few months before the party back in 1987, but right now we are 38 and he's also 38. So it indicates to you what has happened and the development that is taking place of people in the community, in the constituency, rising to the level where they are capable of being there as representatives for the party and the constituency and the country at the very highest level in the parliament. Edison James was not a member of the parliament when he was selected as candidate. I was not a member of the parliament either. And so the Marigot Constituency Association had a very easy choice to make, because for the first time, we were selecting somebody to be parliamentary representative who was already in the parliament and had done a wonderful job of indicating to Dominica how formidable he is as a representative of people with an ability to understand and articulate the issues of concern to the people. So we had somebody who was already there and whose work we knew about, but we were also mindful of what his father spoke about tonight and how we have seen that manifested through the years. Delbert Paris went to jail in 2009 for the United Workers' Party. What he was doing at the point with some other young people from this constituency, they were attempting to prevent the diaspora voters who were paid to come in to affect results in other constituencies from voting. So they were trying to do some things in the road, and for that he was arrested. And through the years, as Delbert Paris went through school and went to university, came back qualified as a construction engineer and doing his work and developing, he always maintained that service to people discipline. He's always been concerned about his community, always been there for his people, which, in addition to what we told you about his abilities in Parliament, which have been on display since 2022, we knew that we were making a very good choice. And we are happy with the acceptance of the choice. And Senator Delbert Paris has wasted no time. As a matter of fact, he was chomping at the bit to move on with what is in fact the most important responsibility facing the United Workers' Party today. Remember I told you, United Workers' Party and Delbert are 38 years. But for 36 years, since 1990, the United Workers' Party has been winning elections in Marigot. Every single one since 1990, every single ballot box on every occasion, bar none. So we know this constituency in the association. We know where the votes are. There are about 1,200 people that vote in Marigot over the past couple of elections. And there are about 400 people that have confirmed their names on the register of voters so far. We, as of a couple of weeks ago, put in place an organization that will identify all of our outstanding voters who have not yet made it to the confirmation centers to confirm. And we'll be stepping on the gas in the coming weeks so that we move up from 400 confirmed voters in Marigot to 1,000 plus within the next 6 weeks or so. That's the goal. We have identified 21 hamlets in the constituency, and we have champions for each of those hamlets who will work their list, the voters list, know who is confirmed already, the 400 are confirmed. We're looking for the other 800, the other 600 who have not yet confirmed. And we'll be doing that very diligently over the next 6 weeks. So that's priority for us, which is also priority for the party right across the country. Within the next 6 weeks, there is going to be a by-election in Dominica. It will happen in the Roseau North constituency. Within the next 6 months, there is going to be a general election in Dominica. It will be a different kind of general election because it will be the first election in Dominica where voters will have to present their identification, their picture identification, their voter ID cards as part of the voting process. That's what the law provides for. And it will be the first election where the list will come down significantly from the bloated list that we have been complaining about for a number of years, and I've advocated for change in that regard. So, the voters list at the moment is 70,000 plus people. That's what we have been voting on, a voters list of 70,000 plus people. In the election that will happen within the next 6 months, we'll be voting on a list which I believe which will be in the region of 35 to 40,000 people. So it will be at least 35,000 people less than what is on the list at the moment. And that is significant because we here in Marigot understand the importance of us being competitive, not on the old list, but on the new list, which means we must get our voters confirmed and we must get new persons registered. The same goes for our organization or political party right across 21 constituencies in this country. And I cannot tell you tonight how important and significant that is. If you have not yet confirmed, put up your hand. All the people who have not yet confirmed, put up your hand. Brand new, taking note of all of the people here with us tonight who have not yet confirmed their registration. Yeah, put up your hand. Okay. We see you, we hear you. Make sure you talk to Brian before you leave here tonight. Brian? Valda is also here. Make sure you talk to Valda or Brian and they will find you before we leave here tonight. All right? So, we have work to do and we have work on which we in Marigot are prepared to provide leadership for, to ensure that we get in shape for the next election. Because regardless of what we do, if people who are willing to support us, who are our people, but their names are not on the register of voters because they did not confirm, then there will be no help in changing what is there right now. because they will not be able to vote. The law says if you don't confirm your registration by the 14th of October in 2026, your name will be taken off the register. Of course, you can put it back there by re-registering whenever you're ready. But the good thing to do right now, to protect your franchise and your right to vote in the upcoming election, which will be in the next 6 months, confirm your registration. And we have an organization in place, settling down nicely, which will facilitate that happening, make it easier for you to get that done over the next 6 weeks. So Marigot, nice to see you.
60s, a multinational financial corporation named Barclays Bank was operating in Dominica. They identify Marigot as a strong economic community. So they decentralized their service and brought a branch to Marigot. But in those days, Marigot people didn't have bank. So they were saving their money in pillowcase and mattress and biscuit tin and all kind of things. When the bank come, Marigot people take out all the money from under the bed and carry it in the bank. So Marigot people now not taking no bank loan because they don't want bank money. Are you listening to me? Every time they have to go to Roseau to buy a Land Rover and a Bedford truck, they're going with a bag of money by Smith and Lords. And then Smith and Lords counting money from 8:30 until 1 o'clock until their finger hurting them. But when the Marigot man leaves to come back, Marigot with his truck, he's not owing nobody. And I also want to tell you that the houses they used to live in had no mortgages on it because they cut wood on the land and they built their house. Are you listening to me? From 1950 to 1985, Marigot people lived on cash. They never borrowed nobody money. Are you listening to me? So because of that, they had one of the highest level of food security in the country. And so they carried themselves with a certain measure of confidence and assertiveness when they went to Roseau. And Roseau people didn't like them because they say Marigot people arrogant. But it's not arrogant, ladies and gentlemen. When you know a man not controlling your supper, you don't have to carry yourself as though you're seeking for approval or you want affirmation. You don't need it. So people didn't like. Marigot people track some dislike because of that. But when I tell Marigot people, I say, listen to me. Nowadays I tell them that because they're still telling me about people that don't like Marigot people. I tell them, well, several decades ago, people didn't like Chinese either. The first time Chinese started to get a little respect is when a Chinese fella made it to Hollywood. His name was Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee. And he was doing movies they call Kung Fu movie. But outside of that, every time people see a Chinese outside of China, all they want to do is to insult them and call them nickname and cast slurs at them. But Chinese had one thing going for them. I want you to listen to me carefully tonight. Chinese had one thing going for them. Chinese had like their self, and Chinese had respect their self. And because of that, today, Chinese don't care who like them, and they're not asking nobody for respect. When Marigot people and Dominicans learn to like themselves and respect themselves, they wouldn't have to worry about who don't like them. Let that sink in. So, ladies and gentlemen, my 3 minutes is almost done. But I have so many things to say. So, a young man I know very well, come and tell me how. I used to tell my children, when my children were small, I used to tell them, keep away from anything. Don't put yourself in nothing where people have to vote for you. Did you hear what I said? I said I used to tell my children to keep away from anything where people have to vote for you. And then the young man come and tell me about his interest in public life, in politics. I say, boy, hear what I tell him. I tell him it has something called your assignment on the earth. And success is only guaranteed at your point of assignment. If you are Moses, your name is Moses, your assignment is with the children of Israel. So if you're in line in the palace to be the next king, you have to move out of the palace and go with your people. So Moses said he chose rather to suffer affliction with the people of God than to enjoy the pleasure of sin for a season. So Moses left and went with his people. If you are Mahatma Gandhi, your assignment is to the Indians. If you are Nelson Mandela, your assignment is to the South Africans. And so I say that is your assignment. I will support you. But I'm wrapping up now. I give Mr. some advice. I tell Mr. there's a difference between a public servant and a politician. A public servant will work for the people. A politician will work for himself. And if you know you're going to work for yourself, leave Marigot people alone. But if you know you're going to be a public servant to serve Marigot people, you can continue. So I tell him, one thing you mustn't do. Don't make promises to the people. Don't make promises to Marigot people and to Dominicans that you cannot keep. Don't tell lies to the people. Don't take bribes from anybody. Because we have enough of that already. And it's not working for us. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, as I wrap up, I want to let you know, I let him know that already, but I want to let you know that I endorse the young man, Mr. Delbert Paris. He has my full support. I think he will make a marvelous representative for you, because his mother and I, bless her soul, she's not here anymore, so we only have half a life. But we try to raise him in a way for such a time as this. And so I'm satisfied tonight that Delbert has the character, he has the capacity, he has the ability, and he has the integrity that the people of Marigot are looking for to represent them at the highest level in this country. And so finally, I respect Marigot people because they're politically wise. They doesn't make political mistake. When they put Lionel Laville in Parliament, it was not a mistake. When they put Will Stephen, they know exactly what they wanted. When they put Pat Stephen, they know exactly what they wanted to do. When they put Edison James, they know exactly what they want to do. When they put Lennox Linton, they know exactly what they wanted to do. And I know exactly why they put Anthony Samora Charles. They knew exactly what they wanted to do. And I don't know when is election, but the next election, I trust the people of Marigot that they will be consistent and do the right thing. There are a number of things. There are a number of things that is broken in Dominica that need fixing. And so just like how I want to tell you also that whatever happened politically in Marigot has serious implications politically for the rest of Dominica. So Marigot cannot afford to make mistake because Marigot, Dominica depending on you. God bless you.
All right, so some voices at the launching of the candidates of the Marigot constituency. That seemed to be a good signal that the entire executive was there to give support to Mr. Delbert Paris, the new candidate for the Marigot constituency. We'll hear from Mr. Delbert in a subsequent program. Of course, Mr. Thompson Fontaine. In unity, you find strength. And as one candidate, I think Juliet from the Roseau Central constituency said, let's not talk about division within the United Workers' Party. Because it appears that they are united as a force going forward. And many of them, I don't know if it's all of them, but many of them have accepted the olive branch. Observers say so. We'll continue to watch. Dominica, the number is 449-3095. So you heard from the president, you heard from the candidate for Roseau Valley, you heard from Juliet, Roseau Central. Good sign going forward. Hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Maybe we, Papa.
Oh.
So where is that? For months, maybe even years. I tell all you, United Workers' Party, you have no division. All you put a word, all you have all your own meaning to it, and all you spread in it. Okay? They don't have no division. They have disagreements, and you can never stop that. But me and me doesn't agree on everything. So why you want them to agree on everything? People have to discuss, oppose, and then decide what they're doing. So leave out that word about division in the, listen to the name carefully, United Workers' Party, and leave them alone. Thank you.
Good afternoon to you, my friend. But you cannot deny that there was some semblance of the very fact that you're trying to deny. But there's water under the bridge. Let's move forward and continue. Someone says, man, the UWP is moving forward. This is so motivating for me. The next step is uniting all of the opposition. Good morning, good afternoon to you. C'est là, bon, des bon, hein? But that was a good presentation there from all of the candidates of the United, or most of the candidates of the United Workers' Party in the Marigot constituency this past weekend. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. Yes, we have a. Hello, yes. How are you? How are you? Yes.
This is Suki here.
Hey, Mr. Suki, how you doing?
Not a bad thing.
Okay.
Doc, I see signs of my visionary approach to the political sphere. For once, and now, not a matter of disunity, but it is a matter of the clear distinction for what the United Workers' Party portrays, which is democracy. Democracy is a source of political section, which in itself assists in allowing people to agree and to disagree. The common man can challenge the hierarchy, and he cannot be condemned by his discretion in deciding the way forward. And this is what is the clear distinction between the United Workers' Party and the Labour Party. If one in the Labour Party ever take on the challenge and the courage to criticize leadership, he would be condemned to death. But in the United Workers' Party, there is democracy. One stands, you accept or you reject. But you will be given an edge to bring out your point as to why you do not agree to certain matters that exist in the party. Well, to the United Workers' Party for ensuring that democracy is alive as against the others. I thank you.
I thank you too, Mr. Herbert Winston. Suki.
Together, be alright. Hear the children crying, hear the children crying, saying give thanks to the Lord. Now be alright. Let's get together and be alright. Oh, let them dirty remind one question I'd really love to ask. Is there a place for hopeless sinners who has hurt all mankind? Say they don't believe one. Let's get together. Be all
Matt, good afternoon. Play the voice clip for me where Ian Douglas telling the young people of Dominica, just go by the Prime Minister if they have a medical situation or insurance to go overseas or whatever. And do not try to be independent. Play it for me, please.
There will be no doom. Have pity on the fools who dancing broke stand. There is no hiding place from the Father of creation.
Uh-huh. Hello, John, to be yes, uh-huh. Yes.
What's going on? Good afternoon.
How you doing, my brother? How you doing? How you doing? Good to hear from you.
You know, taking it easy, man. It's summertime, so working, trying to keep the lights on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Telchi, you were talking about the presentation there from the
yes,
Marigold.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember when you first had that conversation and talked about there was controversy and we had Annie Edwards and stuff. I called you and specifically said, in the democratic process, Matt Telchi, Democracy is not neat and tidy. In our own existence, we don't have to always agree with how things are done because everybody has their own opinion. The good thing about a democratic process is we are all allowed to express this opinion. We are all allowed to argue on our point of view. That's why in schools there are debates. Natalie, you know this? Apart from the little debates going on between the high schools, in Dominica, you don't find our adults having intellectual, fact-based debates except in Parliament. And when it happens in Parliament, it's a bunch of nonsense going on and everybody is worshipping an individual who lies and talks a bunch of nonsense in Parliament. But you realize our standard of decorum in Dominica has changed. And you also realize that in our society, there is a problem of conflict resolution where people get so angry, they take matters into their own hands. That's a reflection of where we are. So I think we've gotten so used to one individual deciding for everybody, and we are afraid to express ourselves. When we see the democratic process going through, we get confused and call it disagreements and confusion, which is okay. So for you to get the best solution to a problem, you should be welcoming of difference of opinion. And in English language, although it's not my favorite subject, but I was able to do well in there. There is what they call persuasion, Matt. You should be able to persuade people to come on your side. So, I also mentioned that the people of Marigot has an opportunity to display a certain level of maturity. The problem they had was a good problem. You had a fantastic lady by the name of Annie Edwards who has experience, who's brought, working for the interests of our community, and a young, promising gentleman that has the future that is showing us what the future of politics in Dominica should be like. And I did not see that as a problem. I saw that as a benefit to the constituency, and I wish a lot more communities in Dominica had resourceful people, capable people who could sit down, have heated discussion, have heated debate. But at the end of the day, when it's time to come together for a purpose, they can come together and agree what is the direction and the purpose. Matilda, that's a demonstration of a mature society. And instead of calling it, yes, there may have seemed to be a division, but not everything is destructive. Sometimes you need to decide, have a difference of opinion, and I think what they have displayed is the maturity of their community to have that kind of democratic process. And at the end of the day, rally around whoever came on top. And Annie Edwards came to your studio and she said if the people decided it was going to be Delbert, she would support him. And I have, knowing her and having interactions with her for the past few years, I have no doubt that she's going to do what she said she was going to do because she has been acting in the best interest of the community. Matilda, I think we've gotten to a place in Dominica where in our own actions, as much as we hate the dictatorship, we still do and say things that tell me otherwise, that we still like that kind of strongman and dictatorship ideas. So we cannot complain about a dictator, but at the same time, when we are seeing a democratic process, we don't even know what it is. So I want to say kudos to these folks for setting an example. And more of us in our society need to understand when people have discussion, when people have disagreements, it's not always a fight on who's wrong and who's right, but coming to a consensus and making sure that the best decisions are made. And it's no surprise that the community of Marigot silently has been one of the communities that has contributed greatly to the development of Dominica in agriculture, in education, in sports, in tourism. It shows, and the results show. So let's not add to the acceptance of the authoritarian style of governance that exists in our current government. Why we are getting nowhere, because one man is Minister of Sports, is Minister of Health, is Minister of Finance, He's Minister of Tourism. He's Education Officer. He's Police Chief, and he's still the judge, jury, and executioner maturity. So let's say kudos to the guys. They have demonstrated maturity, and I think the young people in our society need to take example from that, and instead of fighting each other and destroying each other, find where we can work together and make things happen for the best interest of the country and the community. Leslie, thank you for your time.
All right, thank you very much. 449-3095 and 96. Let's move on. We have another stop coming up. Of course. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Belder, blessings to you, sir.
Blessings to you, sir.
So don't refer of all you that haven't spoken yet, Matt.
Who's the three?
Matt Thompson. And who's the other one again?
Well, I still have Mr. Albert Paris and Thompson, but they will be heard subsequently.
Okay. Matt, you know, on reflection, listening to all the talk that's being talked and the presenters on the executive and whatever the case may be. Matt, do you know when there was some kind of rancor in the Dominican Labour Party when it was Labour Party? Matt, you know, 2 people died. Cold, Matt. Do you know that, Matt?
What are 2 people that died now? Let me know.
They were not ordinary people, no, Matt. Prime ministers in quick succession, because you had a group of young criminals, a group of young fellas that were so ambitious. They say they're beating people with chair, they're giving people heart attack, people die mysteriously, they say it's the Chine, and they say it's all kind of thing. Matt, them that Ed Regis, they say put down his foot. And they say another one again. So let me commend you, WP. Because nobody not that, you know. Man talk and man take out Mepui and man say things and things. Or you can say what other one. There was confusion, there was division, there was emotion, there was multiplication. Matt took Shantila. But look at how things turn out, Matt. Matt, isn't that good, Matt?
It's very good.
We had in the Dominican Labour Party, one prime minister died mysteriously. In a short space of time, they say they hijack another one in St. Joe. And time that they say they killed him too. Tony Astafans, I called in his name. Matt, you can remember the man says they that send Pierre Charles to his grave? So when they're talking about now, oh look, they're making noise, UWP, when they finish, they're saying they're united and all things. They already don't forget they killed 2 prime ministers in quick succession, and Ed Regis, a veteran in the Dominica lethal party, because it becomes the lethal party, because since they start to kill prime ministers, Matt, it leave Labour, it come to lethal. So I want to commend the brothers. I listen to all the talk, Matt. They saying, Matt, anyway, they say Lennox say he have the olive plant in a big flower pot. The day he named himself Michael Manley, and Thompson say, okay, I am Siaga. They're bringing it on the stage, Matt, and you will see unity. All you think UWP, all you Koshoni, Matt, who connect my Desha. Let me leave your radio before you give me the nuclear switch. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rise up this morning, smile with the rising sun. Really the bird before my daughter, singing sweet songs of melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Singing no more about a thing. Be all
Getting some news there from Antigua that the U.S. visa restrictions hit top Antiguan entertainers. Dominican artist take warning, huh? As a matter of fact, I've heard that one of our top entertainers whose visa has expired, having some issues getting his own visa. One of the top entertainers in Dominica. So our young artists be take warning, take warning. It's starting to affect the entertainers, huh? This visa restrictions. Everything gonna be alright.
Happy anniversary to Digicel. 20 years.
Celebrate, connect, and win 20 years with Digicel, celebrating relentless connectivity across Dominica, and we're giving back to you with more prizes and surprises.
Digi turning 20. If you with Digicel, then you have plenty. 20 years we rolling with Digicel. If you're not with us, then hear me well. I have my TV and still have my cell. I have my internet all from Digicel. 20 years of reconnection. So pay attention.
Win with the prizes, VIP experiences, brunch for 6 months, bill free. Win more. Simple. Activate, switch, stay connected. Win. Visit your nearest Digicel store or speak to an agent today.
2020, Digi turning 20. If you with Digicel, then you are plenty. I say with Digi you can win. Celebrate, connect and win.
Ooh, oh, oh, oh. KFC. Ooh, oh, KFC. Looking for some place to go. He knows for so. KFC. Grab your family and your friends. Join in the experience. KFC. It's the place to be. Made for you and me. KFC. KFC. It's finger licking good.
Attention, residents of Upper Capefield. This time is your turn. The United Progressive Party warmly invites you to a special community meeting on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026 at Upper Capefield in the vicinity of the basketball court near Mr. Recker's place. Come and hear from Lofty Durand, the UPP's candidate for the Maho constituency, and Joshua Francis, leader of the UPP party, as they share their vision and listen to your concerns and ideas. We look forward to seeing you there on Thursday, July 23rd at 7 p.m. at Upper Capefield in the vicinity of the basketball court near Mr. Recker's place. United Progressive Party, together for progress.
Somebody wanted to hear the song out there in the Bronx. That's the only song you want, huh? That's the only Unity song you know.
Change is a phenomenon. Comes with the rising sun. If you don't ride that way sunrise.
You think somebody suggesting here, see that visa thing is a joke? You'll find out in due time. That is already affecting some of our entertainers in Dominica.
not people will change and stop following you. There's always a
This visa restriction very serious, huh?
do not let down as it change. Coming for sure. It's not down than the unemployed young people round the corner. When government counterproductive of what their citizens are trying to achieve. When one is in and the other judges spreading over living. Whoa, it's nothing strange. It's like no, no, no. When change declares its day, who can stand in its way? What one seems impossible, no becomes in. When school leavers can't find work, and citizens are losing hope. People from all sides begging for a better life. Then out of that darkness there comes a light, a consciousness where people could now unite. Many can feel it, so they are afraid to say they longing for the day. From the silent brother, I see change heading away. In your 20s, don't know what it's like to understand me. When in the constituency, you see your homes while leaders building 2 and 3. When in the of soil water, any government abandons agriculture. Whoa, it's nothing strange. It's like boxing.
Hello, yes? Mm-hmm.
Not to just resurrect my memory, Jerry. But that song alive now?
It's alive.
That's the best time to engage young people in conversation. Not everybody want to talk. Not everybody want to talk. Even little children, goo gaga. They get everywhere, baby, making a sign. I have something to say. It's very interesting, you know. Look, you said what is taking place in Antigua, Matt, already.
Yes. Some top entertainers. No visas,
But you see, yesterday, I think somebody may have sent your message talking about who you had reached out there before, Matt, and they're saying, oh, what if the bill is not passed and all of that? Matt, a wounded beast has no limitation. Very, 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 very dangerous. America ego has been bruised by the rise of China, the former Soviet Union, Russia, India, Brazil, but all the countries in the world, they're rising and they want the independent Burkina Faso with Ibrahim Traoré, Ghana, everywhere, Matt, people checking, we're going to Russia, how they call them, Matt, BRICS. And one, the president of Turkey, they call them Turkey, Matt. He's a member of NATO, and he's looking to break with NATO to join BRICS. Matt, you're going to play with Donald Trump and them kind of people there. You won't play with, what is his name, Starmer. I hear they have a new prime minister now. The king just put there, I forgot his name. I watch it on the news.
Yes,
I want to talk about America and its behavior and want to come and tell people what to do, what they do us in slavery. Scare it and your supporters, your fanatical supporters that still think that it's the Dominican Labour Party. Might is right. Look at what you have done. Matt, can you imagine? While they're talking about America doing what Trump doing, Matt, can you imagine? I go and steal by which church or one of them places. Matt, you're not in jail, they're bringing me up.
That's obvious.
You have a prime minister of a country that take over $8 billion or several billion dollars of its country money and give it to a foreign to put in Lebanon or in the UAE, United Arab Emirates, wherever they put it there, Matt. Not who can touch Scary. The matter is in court. Scary still outside cursing people. Scary still building more mansions. Telling people, Bekeke, oh, you cannot do nothing, you're afraid me all your ass. Huh? No law, no constitution. What God you can do? Talk alone or you can talk. Scary say, Bekeke, to Joseph et ses parles over rien. C'est moi qui met, c'est madame moi qui wa, qui win, et moi c'est wa, king and queen. So we don't want to talk about Trump and America and England, about slavery and all of your things. All you are in insult to injury. Look at what you're doing to all your own people, Africa, or black people, or Caribbean people, or West Indian people, if we don't have more description, like ourselves. Look at what politicians doing to us. Now it's time for them to arrest people like Gaston Brown and Roosevelt, Skerrit and Andrew Holness. Why you see Mia there? Not since she gives Skerrit her motley. Don't think she change, you know. Mia is a dangerous motley, you know.
All right, caller. Thank you, blessings. Thank you. Of course, this one we started talking about the budget. Before we get to our discussion about the budget, let's listen to this voice note.
Anyway, I am a hardcore supporter of our ecstasy boss compa. And let me tell you, that album release, wicked. I was just hoping and praying that one day the US and
what?
England diaspora would see bands like Ecstasy come and perform soon, but everything going helter skelter now.
Well, as I said, I know at least one megastar in Dominica whose visa has expired and seems to be having some difficulty getting to the United States. This morning, just about winding down on the discussion, I got a note from a former parliamentarian. I don't profess to be a parliamentarian, never was. The financial year, that's a note I got from the parliamentarian. The financial year of the government begins on the 1st of July and ends on the 30th of June. So it means that the budget must be passed before the end of June. Expenditure made during the month of July in Dominica are illegal. Passing a budget in August is breaking the law. All those who break the law should be punished by the law. And I sent, of course, this note to a few lawyers who, and only a few lawyers who speak. And Mr. Joshua Francis is back with us to explain just what is going on. I repeat, the financial year of the government begins on the 1st of July and ends on the 30th of June. It means that the budget must be passed before the end of June. Expenditure made during the month of July in Dominica are illegal. Passing a budget in August is breaking the law. All those who break the law should be punished by law. I'm not a lawyer. Mr. Francis is, and he will share his thoughts among with other things as it relates to the budget. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Francis. Seem to be a very regular guy on the hot seat on the top of the block.
You think so, Matt?
Yeah.
Good afternoon to you.
How are you? How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I'm just performing the people's business.
Well, that's good. And we always like people who, of course, can express themselves in the democratic side like Dominica.
Oh, yes, and fearlessly too.
Professionals, huh?
Yes.
Some
yes.
people are fearful.
For whatever reason, Matt, people have different reasons why they show fear. Sometimes it's not fear. Sometimes people do not want to get involved for other reasons. Some people, some professionals who have approached to get involved would say, well, that would take up too much of my family time. That would take up too much of my time, which I require to run my office.
I'll not be rendered that favor or the other favor.
Yeah, well, you'll find that. But for a pool of people, it's because of limited time for other things.
Well, in professional societies, Joshua, if you're a professional, you have to be respected.
Definitely. But as I said, it's not always an issue of respect. It's not always an issue of fear. There's a saying that many lawyers will not say anything, particularly something that may run against the government of Dominica out of fear that they may not get work.
They're protecting the turf then?
Well, that's what is being said. I cannot speak for every lawyer, but for some lawyers who have spoken with, they give different reasons why they would not get involved in public service.
So you're fearless then, Joshua? You're not afraid of
Well, Matt, I have lived a life in public service even before I got involved in politics.
Mhm.
Remember, I taught at the Granby Secondary School, as it were, now the Petra Secondary School, for a number of years. I taught geography. And I then taught at the Dominica State College for a number of years. I taught finance and economics and business law.
Mhm.
And now that I'm an attorney, even before getting involved in politics, I provided service, pro bono services. So it's just a continuity of a public life, giving service to the people of Dominica.
Let's get to the subject at hand, Joshua, because we just learned this morning, as I said, somebody just sent me a former parliamentarian, so I'll tell you what. It says that one of them there may be somewhat illegal because the financial year ends when? June 30th?
Yeah, that is correct, Matt. We actually have a very small act to basically consolidate the financial year. It is called the Financial Year Act.
Mhm.
And that act was established to fix the financial year as a period of 12 months, commencing on the first day of July of every year. So in terms of the financial year for the government of Dominica, it starts July 1st. But the question here is whether the Minister of Finance has any regulatory or legal powers to present a budget after the 1st of July. Traditionally, we would get the budget address in the month of July. Keep in mind, the budget does not become official until it is approved by the House of Parliament.
Mhm.
And the current structure of Parliament consists of the majority of Labour Party officials. So the ayes have it. And in that regard, the question here for me is not whether it is unlawful to have the budget address on August 4th, rather whether it is good governance. Because when I learned that a former parliamentarian deemed what is happening to be unlawful, that is the presentation of the budget on July 4th,
On August 4th.
on August 4th, sorry. I tried to get some information, but as you know, I'm extremely busy. But nonetheless, I took a few minutes to look at the appropriate pieces of legislation that deals with the budget, and that includes the Finance Administration Act of Dominica. And I noticed that the Minister of Finance has provisional powers to do certain things. So not because a budget has not been approved for the year 2026 to 2027, it makes it illegal. The law provides for the Minister of Finance
Mhm.
to facilitate payments, recurring expenditures, international commitments, contingency expenses. There are limitations as to the type of expenses that the Minister of Finance can approve, given that the budget for the year 2026-2027 has not started. But if that parliamentarian who has given that representation is of the view that something unlawful has happened, that is his view, and it has to be respected. It is not normal practice for...
Have we ever had a budget in August?
No, I don't think so. I think that's unprecedented, and I think that's a reflection of the poor governance that we have in Dominica. It's a reflection of maladministration. A budget must and should be presented at the end of June for several reasons. It provides transparency in the use and allocation of public funds, asset management, public asset management. It shows the direction the country is going, and it provides for accountability of public funds. And here it is, we have a budget presentation carded for August 4th. That may be a reflection of the general problem that is in Dominica right now, a human resource issue. I understood that the budget officers, the financial officers who are responsible to submit documents to compile the budget, a number of them submitted their documents very late. Some of them apparently are not very, as we say, local parlance, akua with the preparation of those documents. And as such, the budget could not be compiled in time, hence the reason why we're having this late presentation. Now, keep in mind, a number of persons, trained persons, have left the jurisdiction, and that again is a reflection of the type of governance that we have had for the past 26 years. And retired officers have returned in the public service, and some of them, their pace at work, no disrespect to the more senior public officers, but a number of them are not up to date with digital technology. And as such, their work has become a little bit dubious within the context of budget preparation. So that may explain, based on my understanding, why the budget presentation is that late. But what is going to happen, Matt, with this late budget presentation and pending approval of the budget for the year 2026-2027, is that the financial year is going to be shorter. And of course, we have an issue with transparency in public service, so that is going to be even a bigger issue. But that is one item on the agenda. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do about it because, as I said, the representation in Parliament right now is majority, the Labour Party officials, and as such, they will simply go there and the ayes have it. What I'm most concerned about at this hour really is the type of budget that is going to be presented to the people of Dominica. Is it going to be a trial and error budget? Another one again, because this
a trial and error budget?
Yes, Matt, we have had...
Sounds like a mechanic there.
Well, I'm an economics mechanic.
Like a roadside mechanic.
Yeah, Matt, what we may have is a trial and error budget, another budget by the Dominica Labour Party government, basically experimenting with economic tools on how to align our country in economic growth. We have not been able to grow our economy to put Dominica on a sustainable path of economic growth because, again, the government missed out on several opportunities to allocate funding into growth sectors, into areas which could generate jobs for us, higher salaries, to produce and export, to provide an environment for investment. I have a feeling that this budget is going to be a tourism-centric budget, given that the capital projects which are currently undergoing in Dominica, namely the international airport, the marina, the cable car, all those are geared towards the tourist industry. And therefore, we would expect a budget that is heavily reliant on tourism.
Let me just make a note here because somebody can send me some information as it relates to the budget that we're speaking about. Under the Dominica Constitution of the Commonwealth of Dominica, Order and Public Finance Management Act, the annual budget, specifically the estimates of expenditure and revenue, must be presented, I repeat, must be presented to the House of Assembly before the start of its financial year. Start of the fiscal year, Dominican fiscal year, runs from July 1 to June 30, 1, 2, 3, 4. Presentation of deadline. The Minister of Finance is legally required to present the annual estimates before the fiscal year begins on July 1. Appropriation Act. The lawfully authorized government spending and withdrawals from the consolidated fund. The budget must then be debated and passed into law via the Appropriation Act. with the legal mandate requires presentation prior to July 1 in the practice. Let me see if I can read a little more. With the legal mandate requires a presentation July 1st. In the practice, the government often presents and passes the budget in July or August. For instance, quotes Dominica 2026-27 national budget will be presented on August 4 when Parliament meets for the opening of the new. That seems a little ambiguous there. The senior public officers are square pegs in round holes, as you were saying earlier. Job for the boys, the budget is late and not keeping with the Public Finance Management Act. The reason is poor governance from head going down. So the point you made earlier may be very true, because the public officers are not competent enough to pass the articles that you're talking about.
That's what it boils down to, Matt. It just shows the loophole in governance in Dominica, another loophole. And for the person who presented that information, he's on point. However, as I said, in law, there are always exceptions to the rule. And the Minister of Finance may have provisional regulatory powers to do what is best in the management of our finances. What we have here is not best international practice. This is maladministration. This is poor governance. This is again a reflection of the mismanagement of our resources. This is a disrespect to the people of Dominica as far as management of public assets and public finance. As your writer pointed out, that person who made the contribution, that the budget should be presented early July, as has been traditionally been the case, but with the wrong holes in square pegs and
square pegs in
wrong holes and the incompetence of some of the public officers, we have the situation. But Matt, I want to focus on what to expect in this budget.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, we will discuss and debate the legality of what's happening, but a court of law makes that determination. At this hour, I am very concerned whether this government is going to create a budget that is going to improve the lives of our people. And there are several things we have to look out for. Of course, people have expectations. Ordinary people in Dominica are looking for some kind of relief. This government has placed a lot of emphasis on social relief.
But given the economy, do you think that the government realistically can provide any relief at this time?
And Matt, that's a very good question. And that is where the debate has to take place, because the fact is the government is operating in an economic spectrum that has tightened economic possibilities for us as a people. You have been talking about the visa restrictions for Dominica in the European Union, in the US, to mention a few. And clearly that has an adverse economic impact on us. And then you're talking about the decline of CBI revenues. That is a major issue. And I don't think that the government has addressed that issue appropriately and optimally, because the government has been reliant on CBI revenues, and we have to look at this budget to see where resources are going to be allocated that could make up for the shortfalls from CBI revenues. That is why I said this budget is very critical. It is critical for a lot of reasons. The government, of course, will want to provide some kind of relief to Dominicans, and rightfully so. We are in an election season period, and the government wants to appease the people. Our people have been crying about the high cost of living, the fact that job opportunities are limited, the fact that the working poor population has expanded over the past few years, the fact that the middle class is in crisis and in some cases is being erased, the fact that we have not been able to produce and to export, the fact that we have had severe brain drain in Dominica. So there are several economic issues that are at stake right now. Of course, we have an issue where we also have to monitor the government as far as its ability to meet or commit to its international obligations. The debt to GDP ratio, we have to pay attention to that. We are way above the regional benchmark of 60%. So the question is, what are we expecting?
Do you know what our debt is at this time?
I just know that the debt to GDP ratio is something like 103%. That was in accordance to, I think, the
IMF?
Article 4 of the IMF report, way above what the region averages, which is about 60. Well, that would be the regional benchmark, 60%, and we're way above that. And that is not going to to balance off anytime soon. Because again, Matt, we're in a country where we have not been exporting. We have not been able to create opportunities for people to make more money. And to compound that
So-called
situation,
Mr. Mac, we're sliding down a greasy pole.
we have slid down a greasy pole. We're not, we we haven't really felt the harshness of our economic realities that exist.
Not yet.
Not as yet. We are still able to meet our obligations as far as the public service is concerned. There are questions, how
long though?
Yeah, that is a big question. How long? How long can we sustain that type of economy? We have some major capital projects on the going, but the benefit of those projects, the outcome of those projects, have not trickled down to ordinary people. And let me just say one of the reasons why we have not seen the tangible benefits through the construction of all these capital investment projects is because all those projects are being undertaken by foreign companies. And those foreign companies have employed quite a number of foreigners. And therefore, what we are seeing is capital flight. Monies that would traditionally stay with us are now being flown out of Dominica because, as in the case of the international airport, as an example, we have these Chinese nationals. When they are paid, my understanding is that they are paid in China. And even if they were to be paid here in Dominica, they do not inject their payments into our economy.
How many times you've gone to a supermarket and you see Chinese shopping?
Exactly, Matt. So that's basic economics. If a man is paid $2,000 monthly in Dominica and he has to pay rent, his landlord is going to benefit. He has to go to the supermarket. He has to pay for the food items. He has to go to the market. The farmers will benefit. He has to take a public transportation. The taxi driver will benefit. He wants to go out on the weekend to have a drink. A bar owner will benefit. So we can go on and on. So in a situation like that, the money will circulate in our economy. Money velocity will increase. Money supply will increase. The demand for local services will increase, and we would experience a natural economic growth. But with these capital projects, a lot of those monies have been flown out of Dominica. And I'm looking towards a day when a new government, hopefully of which I will be part of, can pass financial regulations to restrict or limit the amount of monies that we allow to leave Dominica. Several jurisdictions in the Caribbean, such as in Barbados, provide limits on the amount of money that one can send out through Western Union.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because Matt, what we generate here becomes remittances for somebody out there. So we have, for example, the Haitian community. If a Haitian national works he earns $2,000 monthly, he can easily send $1,200 to Haiti. We need to get back to the drawing board and to analyze those situations and to provide restrictions and limits on the amount of money that is flown out of Dominica.
Wouldn't that be considered undemocratic though?
It's about employing practices to grow the economy, because capital flight is a big issue here. We have limited resources, and a significant amount of our resources have been flown out of Dominica. When we give a foreign company a project to build the largest capital project in the history of Dominica, and that company now employs another foreign company, it subcontracts a foreign company to provide the building services. And that company employs a significant number of foreign nationals. As I explained, that is a lot of money that's supposed to be circulating in the economy that is flown out. And then the owners of that company themselves, as in the case of MMCE, as we know publicly, the revenue are not saved in Dominica. They are saved in banks outside of Dominica. Now, keep in mind, had the money been available in Dominica, that money would become available to give loans to our people because the banks would be more liquid. So there are several repercussions or economic ramifications for allowing our capital to be flown out without restrictions.
Let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes, caller. So 19-2.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon to you, yes.
And to Mr. Francis and your listeners at home and abroad. Well, the economy is dead. It has been so for a long time, and it's getting worse. And the government has no idea as to what to do to revive the economy. And I think this government is incapable of doing that. And this is why the call for a new government, a change of government in Dominica is so necessary. I mean, you see what is happening with us and the U.S., and earlier on you mentioned that Antigua itself is already suffering with some of its top artists, most of them from the U.S.
And believe me, it's trickling down in Dominica as well, huh?
Right. These are, yeah, I understood too. A top artists here, I'm not call that person's name, have been refused a visa to enter the U.S. And you know a lot about the artists in these parts go to America and they make a lot of money there. Parliamentary secretaries and so on. They're talking some nonsense and wasting time. And sometimes even when they talk, a whole hour, they even ask for more time to talk. And at the end of the day, nothing really of substance is being added. So this country has not been run for quite a while. And Matt, unless we do something serious, it will get worse because the budget should be already even passed. In fact, we should start today's the 22nd. We should already start enjoying the new budget that was approved by Parliament. Parliament must approve the budget so that the government can spend, the ministries can spend, the salaries can be paid, and services can happen. Just to talk about the capital project, I remember when you had some little things happening in Dominica before this government, you had people who sort of the little shop there, what do you call the meat shop there to sell bakes and fried fish and drinks and juices and so on. And at the end of the fortnight or the month end, you see people lined up paying what they take for the week. So you see activity in the economy. You don't see that. I mean, the airport is being built and you hardly hear people talk about them making money carrying tarish or carrying stones. Okay, in fact, we have spent a lot of time arguing whether we should take material there, over there, and so on, rather than really coming together and ensuring that people benefit from the biggest capital project that is taking place. When they were doing the airport in St. Vincent, people benefited. I followed that through, they benefited. There was a project being done in the Bahamas, and the Chinese came in that project, and the Prime Minister at the time said, 60% must be locals. And the Chinese decided, no. The Prime Minister said, take your project and go with it. And they had to very well agree with the government to give them 60% on that project. Now the owner of the airports or whatever the case may be there, this guy, he don't come here and spend. You don't see him come here and live for a couple of days in a hotel, have a taxi and so on, spending. So even from him, no money is coming in. I remember when you had the economic stewardship program, you had the Taiwanese coming in here, they spend, and the other people coming in there, they spend a week. So they stay in our hotels, they eat our food, they ride in our taxis, go in our bus. So there was activity. Now, even ministers, and I'm traveling, bring passport, they used to bring passport to people outside of Dominica, so the person had no time to come here and even spend and so on. So economy is dead. And the only solution for that to change is for us to have a new government. I see Antigua and these islands are putting together their foreign minister, the ambassadors to tackle the issues confronting us. The EU has warned us by 2028 we must end the CBI. And you see them acting. In Dominica, you hear nothing. We don't even know if we have a minister of foreign affairs. I don't even know who's the ambassador or Dominican ambassador to the US and so on. We just a dead place. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Now, please tell Joshua that I say the national budget is a fraudulent report, because if you compare the actual revenues and expenditures generated, you'll notice that hundreds of thousands of dollars difference from the budget. That's what somebody's suggesting.
And that person may very well be correct. We don't really comb the budget with a
fine-tooth comb.
Yes, right. But if we do, we will see those errors. Again, a budget requires a compilation of several documents. Different arms of the Ministry of Finance must present information. Different ministries, the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry of Tourism, Health. Every ministry must submit figures on expenditures, figures on revenue, and those figures have to be compiled. And estimates have to be given for the upcoming year. So you can imagine the amount of work that is required. And therefore, if we have incompetent people or we have limited number of people in those areas, the chances that we get those kind of distortions exist at a higher level. So the person giving that representation may very well be correct. But Matt, as I was saying, this budget is, I call it a trial and error budget because those are the types of budgets that this Labour Party has been given. But also it's a survival budget. It's not a wealth creation budget. I mean, the language in Dominica right now is survival. We cannot discuss wealth. Wealth has become just a dream. Creating wealth is just a dream, and it stays like that. Most people in Dominica, and when I speak of people, I'm also including small businesses. Businesses generally are struggling. People are struggling. An economy that is vibrant is one where people have spending power. In Dominica,
so there's a budget of no hope.
But the hope does not exist with this government. Anybody who continues to believe that there is hope.
So where's the goodies that the Prime Minister is will be suggesting this year?
Well, I mean, the Prime Minister will provide some relief. He will take his chances. On paper, it will sound good, but the result will be the same. It's not going to change lives. It's not going to transform the economy to make lives better. The Prime Minister will give some kind of relief, I suspect, in the area of custom duties. And as I had indicated to you, my understanding is that they're looking at giving some kind of income tax relief. Now, we have to be careful with those types of reliefs because on paper, they will look good. So take, for example, if the income tax threshold increases from $30,000 to $50,000, it means that less people will be paying income tax in Dominica. And for us, it will sound good. Less income tax. But really, who are the people going to benefit? A select few. It's just like when there was an increase in minimum wage. The increase in minimum wage was not across the board. It was for a select few areas within the economy. And therefore, that individual benefit did not translate into macroeconomic benefits. The country will only grow.
It did not trickle down.
It did not trickle down. It cannot trickle down because it was not meant for a policy to grow Dominica. And that is one of the greatest problems with that government. That government had opportunities to grow our economy, but it failed. When you preside over an economy where your primary focus is social relief, is to give people fish instead of teaching them how to fish, that itself is a problem. Globally, historically, every country that focused on social relief before economic growth fell on its face. We are seeing it all over the world. The model that this Dominica Labour Party employed is a model that Europe is now employing after centuries of development. We're a small economy, a small developing country, which already has serious challenges on the global stage. And for this government to have focused on giving free things instead of providing investment opportunities for the country, the economy naturally had to fall flat. We cannot undo reality. You're going to sow what you reap, and this government has sown on soils, on infertile soils, on barren soils. And when you sow seeds on barren soils, naturally you're going to get death. And that is where our economy has headed. You heard from Mr. Boston, who made a very colorful contribution here this afternoon. And he said that the economy is dead. Now, naturally, we're not saying that we're not eating and drinking, we're not housed. We are all of the above. But we live to enjoy life. We live to be joyful. One of the fruits of the Spirit is joy and happiness. Dominicans, on average, are cool people, very passive, content. But most Dominicans will tell you that their lives can be better. And they say that because they do not have monetary power. The good book says that money answereth all things. In the secular world, we say that money is power. And when you do not allow people to have monies in their pockets, you do not allow them to have monies in the bank, it means that you would be disempowering the people. And that is what this government has done very well. We are grateful for all the social programs that we have benefited from. But at the end of the day, we would prefer to have an economy where we live a better life and we create an environment for growth, particularly for our children.
Somebody's here. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, good afternoon. I know you're going to cut me off, but I want to take on Joshua Francis.
Okay.
Matt, let me start. I know he knows what I'm going to be talking about. What is GDP? GDP is denoted by the formula C plus I plus G plus X minus M. C for consumption, and C consumption is first. I for investments, both government and private sector. G for government spending. X for exports. M for imports. X minus M will always be negative.
No, it will not always be negative, Mr. Christian. It will be negative in a country where we have an import-oriented country like Dominica. We have not focused on creating jobs and growing the economy and investment, and therefore, naturally, if we do not produce, we cannot export.
Well, tell me a country where X minus M is not negative. Just tell me one country in the world where X minus M is not negative.
Mr. Christian, there is where... Look at Guyana right now. Look at Guyana as an example right now. Go online and look at net exports for Guyana.
Because Guyana has oil.
You just asked me whether there are countries in the world. I gave you an example. And there are several other countries where exports exceeds imports. These are just figures. But right here, you come in with something abstract. The reality is that ordinary Dominicans will tell you they're struggling financially. And the reality is that this country has not been producing. We have not been exporting other than our brains, our citizenship, which right now the Europeans are saying that the commercialization of our citizenship will no longer be tolerated. This government has failed in many respects. And Mr. Christian, as a gentleman who is trained in accounting with some economics, you know better. But once again, they're peddling propaganda and trying to mislead the people of Dominica. It's a fact that this government has failed financially and economically.
Are you there, sir? Go.
Joshua, you are the one misleading people because you're giving people anecdotal data rather than empirical data. That is what you're doing.
Sir, tell me what's the exports figures? Give Dominicans, we are listening. Tell us what is the export history in Dominica from 2000 to 2026.
Let me tell you what I was talking about.
No, but
I asked you a question.
You're running away, Mr.
You asked me a question, I answered it. No,
I do not have the export figure before me, but I'm telling you.
Oh, you don't have them before you. But generally, just give us a general answer to that question. Have we seen an increase in exports?
An overview, sir.
Exports.
Let me tell you, there has not been an increase in exports. But let me tell you, you don't allow me to speak.
But I'm allowing you to speak. Clarence is asking you questions to answer the question.
No, but I cannot answer his question if you don't allow me to speak.
Oh, it's Mr. Clarence. Speak.
Okay.
Go ahead.
In Dominica, GDP has been driven by government spending and government investment because consumption is always low because we have a small population. So the government has to drive GDP through their investments and through their spending. Okay?
Let me stick a pin here. Let me stick a pin here, sir. All right. So you just came with your abstract definition. Yes, national income, I plus G plus C, plus X minus M, income. And now you're talking about government expenditure. All right. That is the model that this Labour Party uses. What about the government creating an environment for I to increase, for investment to increase, for the private sector to grow? Wouldn't that make more sense to you, sir?
Because the investment will grow, government cannot, private sector depends on consumption to make their money.
Sir, you're going back to C. Let's stay on I, investments. Had this government been visionary to have created an environment for the private sector to grow, for persons interested in agro-processing to be able to open a small business to process and distill whatever natural product they have. Had this government been focused on growing the private sector, it would have provided budgets where more concessions and relief would be provided to business persons, to manufacturers, so that they would not only create opportunities for jobs, but they would have products to export. And that is a major issue with this government. It focused on G so much, and even in G, its capital projects have not generated the kind of multiplier effect that we expected. And furthermore, this government has also expended on a lot of dead-end projects, projects which are not creating jobs.
Are you there?
I want you to explain for me. In economics, like you will learn, when an economy is depressed, people go and be saved. People go and withdraw their money. There's a rot on the bank. Why? Give me the theory. Why is it that government banking deposits have increased significantly in Dominica? The credit union deposits have increased. The Black Union, the Provincial Bank has increased significantly in Dominica. Just the other day, Marigot and Rosa was saying that is the highest increase they have received during the existence of the credit unions. Tell me, explain to me as an economist you are, why is it savings are increasing in Dominica? Why is it we have all those cars? Why is it the car both coming twice a month?
First of all, a saving is a withdrawal from the economy, and it will only become useful if the bank or the credit unions make those monies available for loans. Now, let's talk about loans. People's savings could increase for several reasons. And one of the reasons why persons may be saving more, as you claim, I have not seen the data, is because they have an expectation that this economy is going to collapse. They have fear that the future will bring a bleak economic environment, and therefore they're putting $1 aside. It could also be that a select few are those who are doing the savings. Do you have the data to show who are the people saving and what they are saving? An increase in savings in any financial institution is not a reflection of savings across the board. Oh, he has left.
He has left. He's left. 449-3095-9697. Hello, talk to me on the telephone. I keep on in Clarence. Hello, talk to me. Yes. 449-3095-9697. Are you there, caller? Yes. Yeah, hello. Are you there? All right, let's move on. Talk to me. Yes.
Nice, you accidentally cut me off, you know. You did.
I did not. You see, Clarence, I did not cut you off. We were having a talk. We were enjoying the discussion.
No. Well, I'm enjoying it. Because Joshua Francis do not want to.
But you ask your question. Do you have the data as to who's making the savings?
Matt, who's making? When you go to Marigot, who are the members of Marigot Credit Union?
There are various members of the Marigot Credit Union. They are farmers. They are businessmen. But I want you give me a data so break it down for me. Who's saving the biggest or the biggest portion of money in that area?
Huh? Who are the members of the?
No ordinary people, I'm saying, but there are people who, of course, significantly save much more than others. I'm asking you who? Give me the data. So who's saving who or saving what?
Go on the research is there, you know. Go on the internet.
But you're providing the information, so you don't have no data at all. Then.
And also, Clarence could tell us equally about the bad debts those financial institutions have. As a matter of fact, the IMF report speaks of the bad debts, the delinquent loans. Tell us something about that, Clarence.
I do not know about the delinquent loans. I'm telling you about deposits.
You know why you wouldn't know about it? Because you continue to look at the economy from a myopic point of view to promote the Dominican Labour Party. You are not being professional as far as your analysis of the economy is concerned. And in spite of the fact that I'm the leader of an opposition party.
He's been selective.
But very much so. I mean, the gentleman is coming across as being intellectually dishonest, and for right reasons, for his right reasons. He's a supporter of the Dominican Labour Party. He's a supporter of the Dominican Labour Party government, and therefore he's only going to see things through the lenses of the Dominican Labour Party, and he will speak positive. He will paint Dominica as the best place in the world. But let's look at things objectively.
Yes.
I heard Boston Collins say the budget is not lit. The budget, the government has up to August 15th to pass a budget. That is the Constitution. It is not lit. Freedom Party had budget in August, UWP had budget in August, and in July. That is not true. The budget, the government has up to August 15th of the month of the year to pass a budget. Government spending is now done by a certificate, right? Because there is not a budget, and the government cannot spend no more than 1/3 of what was budgeted last year under any head. The Constitution takes care of this.
Clarence, you are your pelting materials. Can you kindly tell us in which year the budget was passed in the month of August?
Are you there, Clarence? No, the year.
Tell us, sir. Tell us, because you seem to be a walking dictionary and a walking library for the Dominican Labour Party, and therefore you should just simply go into your file and withdraw that information. You are just saying that it's not the first time it has happened in the history of Dominica. So kindly tell the nation, when is it that a budget address was given in the month of August?
Yeah, are you there, Clarence?
Yes, sir, I'm sitting in my office. I do not have any of this data before me.
Well, you're presenting data that's maybe not correct. So we're asking for the factual data to present to the public, before, spreading misinformation. So please, Clarence, I think Joshua is trying to make the point. Go to your dictionary. You maybe have one somewhere around the desk, and tell us what dates exactly that the other parties have presented the budget.
I do
misinformation.
agree with Clarence, again, out of sincerity and objective reasoning, that budgets sometimes were passed late in July and primarily under the Dominican Labour Party. But from my recollection, since 2000, that's the first time we're going to have a budget presentation in the month of August. I'm subject to correction. But Clarence Christian, who is more learned on parliamentary matters, as he has depicted himself to be, can assist us to tell the nation when is it that we had a budget presentation in the month of August.
All right, Clarence is still there? Because we have to wrap up in a minute. Yeah.
Matt, whilst we're on that point, I would like Clarence to answer the question. Why is it that the budget presentation is so late? I have provided reasons why we are late. Maybe you have a different reason, unless if you accept the reasons that I have given. And just to sum up, my reasoning is that we are late because to compile a budget requires a lot of effort. And all the players and actors were responsible to provide the expenditures, the figures, the estimates, the revenue figures, etc. A number of them were late. And they were late because in certain departments, we have limited resources. And in some cases, we have persons who are not properly trained for that type of business. So tell us, Clarence.
Yeah. Are you there, Clarence? All right.
Not constitutionally late. Constitutional say the budget must be passed by August 15th. You must have a budget. And the Constitution makes provision through provisional warrant, by provisional warrant for the government to spend with when their budget has not been passed.
I'm getting some new information that says since 2000, the budget has been presented to Parliament just twice before the end of the financial year, June 30th. Just twice. Since 2000.
Since 2000?
Yes.
Repeat that?
I said since 2000, the budget has been presented to Parliament just twice before the end of the financial year, June 30th.
Yeah, that sometimes has been presented before the end of the financial year, in June.
So where's the data as it relates to August? You said it has been presented sometime in August before. Where's the data to say that?
It has been presented in August before.
Well, tell me when, Clarence. That's all I'm asking you. When?
Matt, I'm talking from my mind. I do not have documents before me. Not even my computer that is on.
So why are you saying categorically that it has been passed in August, Clarence? That's the question I'm asking you. You know everything else, but you don't know that the budget has never been presented, as you said, or have been presented in August. That's your claim.
And Matt, whilst I'm there, Clarence is running towards savings, and he spoke about cars on the road. Clarence, let us face the reality. Dominica has the smallest economy and is the last in many important economic areas within the region. And currently we're on the last legs of the CBI program. Can you tell the nation whether You are expecting a budget that is going to make up for the shortfalls from CBI revenues, and a budget that will finally cause our economy to grow, where jobs will be created, salaries will increase, Dominica will start to export, farmers will be happy, the medical health system will be better. Tell us something, Clarence. What do you expect in this year's budget?
What I expect in this year's budget, you listen to me?
Okay.
What I expect in this year's budget, we still have $1 billion budget. Under the Freedom Party, our budget never passed 300 million. Under UWP, our budget was just about 400 million. Now we have $1 billion budget in the economy. The government is investing, look at it, Marina, airport, all these things are transformational projects taking place that if in case we do not have the CBI, to bring in people, because people are not making children now, what we need in the country for economic growth is consumption.
Before you answer the question, I want to go back to a point earlier. Somebody's just making the point. Savings in credit union increased because a number of banks closed. There's only one national bank. Population does not have anything, no options in terms of the savings.
Well, that's a very good observation. I mean, and that's another problem that we have in Dominica. A number of the banks left the market, and one of the reasons is because though they were liquid, but as far as sustainability in terms of profits, they will head in the wrong direction, because one of the main source of funding for a bank through mortgages, and with all these social housing programs, it means there were less mortgages, and therefore the banks were getting less interest on their investments. And Clarence would agree with me. And
well, you're about to make a point that's what he was saying earlier.
Yeah, I think Clarence, he made several points, and I was about to respond to one of them
in terms of what to expect in the budget.
Yeah, he spoke about
the capital projects.
Yeah, but it's evident we don't have to wait for the budget to see that we are not really benefiting from these capital projects. Those projects have not, transformed our lives. If you look at the vicinity of the site of the construction of the international airport, even in those areas, people are crying. The people of Marigot, Wesley, Kalinago territory, they have not had any significant benefits through the construction of the airport. Again, I have explained why. You have a lot of those persons on the project. They are foreigners. Their salaries are being paid or flown out of Dominica. Naturally, monies are not being spent in the catchment areas where the international airport is being constructed. And then you have the mariner, you have the cable car. Yes, we have a few locals employed, but a lot of the employees are foreigners, and we have capital flight. And Mr. Christian would agree with us.
No, but he spoke about $1 billion budget that we have not seen in Dominica.
Matt, we have the smallest, and anybody can go online and look at the size of every budget for Eastern Caribbean countries. I am subject to correction, but we have the smallest budget. Yet we have the largest and most bloated cabinet running in our affairs. 22 ministers for a country that probably has 60,000 people.
And many more advisors too.
Yeah, and then over the years, every budget has increased nominally because of inflation. So you cannot say under the United Workers' Party you had a $400 million budget versus a $1.2 billion budget. And we expect the budget to be around there. We don't expect it maybe to go up to 1.5 billion, but again, those are just estimates. And more importantly, we need to move from the paper to reality. The reality is on the ground, the people are struggling.
Clarence, would you agree?
No, I don't agree. I do not agree with him. I do not agree with him. People are poor, and people are, of course, there are elements within every country where you have some pockets of poverty. They are in every country, but Dominicans are not.
So Dominicans is a land of seawater.
Dominicans are not starving. Okay, Dominicans are traveling to fest all over the place.
Dominicans were always traveling. All in the 70s. My mom left Dominica when I was just a few months old. She went to the United States of America in 1975, sorry. My dad went to St. Thomas just around the same time. Dominicans were always traveling. So this talk about Dominicans are traveling and using that as a measure.
Let me just play a voice to that. Some people want to participate. Yes?
Matt,
talk to
the
me.
budget is $1 billion on paper. How much out of that budget does be implemented You forget in the past budgets when people were making a comparative analysis, that is only a small percentage of the allocated amount of the budget that was implemented. The Ministry of Tourism is a typical example of it. Refresh Codibalin, Focus Smarts, Reflect Focus. It's just $1 billion on paper.
Yes.
It's supposed to, if it is implemented, then you will talk about bit. Matt, I have been listening to budget all my life. First time I hear budget in August. First time. Clarence just always have a convenient excuse. If it was UWP that was in government and they didn't pass budget yet, he would be singing a different song like a canary. Way, Papa Clarence, yes, sir.
All right. Well, he did say that we were asking for the data to prove. That's what Joshua is saying. Give us the data that says budgets were presented in August before. Are you still there, Clarence?
It has been presented in August before.
But you said that over and over. So tell us, give us some data. When?
I have been government and I have received budget has been passed in August prior to this time. It's not the first time we have been budget passed in August. There was one, I think, let me leave that one out. Not long, that is before in Patrick John time. Let me leave that out. But anyway, but we have had budgets passed in August. And not on one occasion, not on two occasions, and not under this government. Under this government, yes, budget have been passed in August. It's not the first time budget has been passed in August. I'm vouching for that.
All right, let's go back because we have to wrap.
Yeah, we have to wrap up, So, but whilst we have Clarence being the representative of the Dominican Labour Party government, I just want to ask another question. So, Clarence, some time ago, the government indicated that it was going into a private-public sector partnership for the resuscitation of the Kubuli factory. What's the latest on that?
Hello, Clarence.
You're asking the wrong person. I'm not in government. You're asking the wrong person. I'm not in government. I'm outside of government.
I have another question as well. I'm talking about the budget. Are you satisfied that this government provided enough funding to industries such as Bello, for agro-processing? I mean, we had Bello, that was very, robust in agro-processing. Don't you agree that the government ought to have focused on agro-processing and probably help salvage Bello? I'm just using some examples there. I mean, I can go on and on.
Let me continue. Somebody's asking me to ask Mr. Clarence, what does he know about the challenges of persons, for example, the NEP living in apartment buildings around the island? What is the information you can provide on that?
I'm here to talk about economics, Matt. Matt, let me tell Joshua Francis, I am aware that the government with millions of dollars at the aid bank, some at 2%, some at 3% for borrowing, for private sector. You have businesses borrowing, and if I do not know why Bello did not use the facilities, but the government put monies at the aid bank, millions of dollars at the aid bank for on lending to businesses. That's a fact.
And Matt,
and difficult to access the solution.
Well, it's not only difficulties. Who are getting the loans, and are there any surveillance as to what those monies are being used for? Because I'm aware that a number of persons went and accessed those facilities on the pretense that they were going to conduct business, and to this date, no business has happened. And that again shows the deficiencies in the administration of our public funds. Because if you're going to provide a facility, it's not just somebody providing a business plan and you give them the money after they present documents and so on and so forth. You're supposed to have a proper and well-structured program where you give the loan in installments, and you ensure that the business person or the entrepreneur carry out the business plan as he or she presented. But what we're having is person taking those funds from the facilities and they don't do business. Of course, you have exceptions, but there are a number of flaws in that program.
Any final comments, Clarence, before you go?
Yeah. Again, Joshua is giving anecdotal evidence, and the rules of the bank, If you're getting $1 million loan, the bank is not going to give you a whole $1 million. They will give you installments based on your expenditure. So Joshua knows better than that. You cannot say the bank will just give people money. Joshua, please.
Clarence. I mean, you're talking about $1 million. I'm aware of a number of persons who got facilities of $20,000. They got the monies and they didn't know what they said they were going to do with it. You're talking about $1 million. Now, this is a different threshold of funding, and I do agree with you. In those circumstances, the bank's supposed to give installments and follow up. So I do agree with you on that point. But I was referring to smaller facilities.
All right, I think we've got to go, Clarence. Again, thank you very much for participating. You see, I have not cut you off yet, right? So I want to say thank you for participating. Is that okay?
But I would love to have a discussion one-on-one.
Okay.
With Joshua and Joshua.
Anytime, Clarence. Anytime, brother. Anywhere, any place. And a matter of fact, we can have it tonight. Tonight we can have it. Get a venue. And let's have it.
All right. You have a meeting coming up in what good
Yeah, we have a meeting in at Canefield tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m.
Okay.
And Loftus Dura will be presenting, and of course he will have my support as he continues to fight to become the parliamentary representative for the Maho constituency. And while on that note, sometime next week, we, the United Progressive Party, will have a pre-budget presentation.
Like we have it now.
It will be a press conference, hopefully at Fort Young Hotel at 11 o'clock sometime, either Tuesday or Wednesday next week.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome, Matt.
Interesting afternoon.
Yeah, well, Matt, I mean, that is where we have to take a discussion. We have to, understand what's happening with our country. And I know deep in Clarence's heart, he agrees with me, but he cannot say otherwise. I mean, he's a member and supporter of the Dominican Labour Party, and he has to speak the language.
Thank you. We've got to go. Tomorrow, another day.
Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do, live after them. The evil that men do, live after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good. Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Respect your fellow man as you should. The evil that men do lives after them. The evil that men do lives after them. Your evil today will blight your tomorrow. So do good today and avoid your sorrow. Take the message, everybody. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better do good.
Let your light shine bright. Let your light shine bright. Bring back your battle mind, as you should. Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning. You better take warning. 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 Take warning. You better take warning. Take warning.
You're alone all the time. Does it ever puzzle you? Have you asked why you think fall in love all again? Do you ever really love or just pretend? Why fool yourself? Don't be afraid to help yourself. It's never too late to stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Love, love, love. Though you try, you can't hide all the things you really feel. This time decide that you will open up, let it in. There's no shame in sharing love. Keep breathing, so jump on in. Head over heels and fall right in. It's never too late to stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Love, love. So jump on in. Head over heels and fall right in. Never too late to stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Look, listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Love, love. Listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Please look. Listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop. Look. Listen to your heart, hear what it's saying. Stop.